What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Combat Sports Media YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about, breaking down, and giving out a prediction for the upcoming David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde WBC light heavyweight world title fight. Now, before I go any further, I must say that this is going to be a guaranteed explosive fight and night. Both these fighters don't like to hide. They are right there in your face trying to take you out. Both of these fighters have an offensive approach and mindset in the way they fight. Let's start with David Benavidez. Benavidez started out as a sparring partner for top-level fighters. He didn't have much of an amateur career. I believe he had maybe 14 or 15 amateur fights, which is much better than nothing. But he made his bread and butter and got his recognition through sparring sessions with Kelly Pavlik and the likes. And this is back when he was just 15, 16 years old. He also sparred a lot and worked out at the Wildcard Gym a lot back in the day. So that's where he made his bones. He is currently a top-level professional. He throws punches in bunches. He's not necessarily the hardest one-punch knockout guy, but he has underrated defense. He has good IQ. He throws a lot of punches and bunches, like I said, and he is able to keep his opponents uncomfortable with the pace that he sets and follows through with. He breaks guys down. That's what Benavidez does. He breaks you down little by little. But that's what he's going in there to do, to break you down and to finish you eventually. Kind of like a Margarito, but with much more athleticism and explosiveness and speed. And power too. That Margarito had some good power. He finished a lot of guys at the end too. But yeah, much more athletic, much more talented version of a Antonio Margarito. Those who are not familiar with him, talking to the younger audience, Google, YouTube, Cotto versus Margarito 1, or Margarito versus Kermit Cintron 1 or 2. That's a good example of what Margarito did to his opponents. And I believe that Benavidez is of that very same ilk. He just happens to be blessed a little bit more talent-wise. Now let's move on. Just a few more details about Benavidez. He's a former super middleweight WBC champion. So he's a two-division champion. And he did beat Alexander Gvozdyk for, I believe, the interim version of the title that he has now. And Gvozdyk is that same fighter that almost killed Adonis Stevenson. And as we all know, Adonis Stevenson was a very long reigning champion. He is one of the best light heavyweights of this past generation, along with Kovalev and Andre Ward. And so that was a very good win, and I rate that very, very highly. That might even be, and to me, that's better than the Caleb Plant win. That's how highly I think of Gvozdyk. Gvozdyk is also an Olympian too, if I'm not mistaken, and he has a medal. So anyway, let's move on to Anthony Yarde. Anthony Yarde, I don't know as much about him, but obviously I've seen him fight plenty of times. Very explosive guy. Definitely more of a one-punch guy than Benavidez. Benavidez is looking to break you down, as we said. Anthony Yarde, he's looking to get you out of there, but he could do it more. He's more likely to do it with just one or two good shots if he lands them right. Very, very explosive, very strong. He avenged his loss to Lyndon Arthur. His first title shot came against Kovalev. Now, Sergey Kovalev, as we all know, is a great fighter. One of the best light heavyweights of his generation, as we just said. And he gave him a good fight, an exciting fight, but he ran out of gas at the end and wasn't able to compete with Kovalev going into the championship rounds. And he got TKO'd towards the end of that fight. And it was a fantastic performance by Kovalev and a very entertaining fight for the fans. And I don't think it did anything to bring down Anthony Yarde's stock. Many people were interested in seeing him fight on, and it was just a great night of boxing. As we all know, Kovalev actually got rewarded with the Canelo fight after that fight. So it was a very motivated version of Kovalev because he knew that it was a great possibility that he was going to get the biggest fight of his life if he was to win and beat Anthony Yarde. So even though he might have been slightly past his prime, Kovalev, it was a very motivated version of Kovalev. And he was not washed up by any means. He went on to do some good things after that fight. The fights with Alvarez, for example. And he also racked up a few quality wins up at cruiserweight as well. One of them came a few months back, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, Anthony Yarde is full of heart, but he's not the most developed fighter for this level of professional, and he's a little bit limited. He makes up for that with athleticism, power, and explosiveness, but against a guy with the level of experience and craft of a Benavidez, because look, Benavidez didn't have an amateur career or an extensive one, but he was in there with world-class professionals, sparring in the gyms for a very long time before he turned professional. So don't let that deceive you. He is not schooled and isn't developed like how Benavidez was developed. So that's a big disadvantage right there. And also, Benavidez sets an incredibly difficult pace to keep up with for 12 rounds. And that is a big factor of how he's able to break his opponents down. Anthony Yarde is going to have trouble with that, just like he did with Kovalev. If a past his prime physically, Kovalev has given you problems with pace, you best assured that in his prime, Benavidez is going to be too much for you as far as pace is concerned, and that's a fact. So pace is going to play a big role in this fight, and I just don't believe that Anthony Yarde is going to be able to keep up in the championship rounds, or maybe even in the 9th and 10th rounds, you're going to start seeing him crack. So I'm predicting a late round TKO in favor of David Benavidez. However, anything can happen. These are two incredibly motivated warriors. They are both still very much in their primes. I wish them both the best. Hope they both come out healthy, and I hope it is a great night of boxing for everyone involved, especially the fans. So there you have it, folks. That's my prediction: a late round TKO win for David Benavidez. I believe his pace and his craft is going to be too much for Yarde. And I hope to see you guys soon. Plenty more content will be coming out soon. Thank you.